A woman sits alone, holding what looks at first glance like a baby in her arms. But it isn't a child. It's a piece of wood, wrapped tightly in blankets, cradled as if it were alive. What unsettles most people isn't what she's holding. It's the way she looks at us. Her eyes don't plead. They don't cry. They don't even seem fully present. She looks like someone who has endured something unbearable, someone whose mind has drifted somewhere we can't reach anymore. And perhaps that's why the artist gave this painting its name, The Lunatic. Painted in 1871, this work has disturbed and confused viewers ever since. Who is this woman? Is she a mother who lost her child? Or someone who never became one, but desired it so deeply that reality itself began to fracture? There is no definitive answer. But there is one small detail, easy to overlook, that shifts the entire meaning of the painting. A detail that suggests we may not be looking at madness at all, but at something far more deliberate. Something carefully disguised. The artist behind this work, Hugues Merle, was not known for provocation or rebellion. Quite the opposite. He was a 19th century French painter celebrated for gentle, sentimental scenes. Mothers holding sleeping children. Women bathed in soft light. Quiet moments of affection and calm. But in 1871, something changed. That year, immediately following one of the most traumatic periods in French history, Merle painted The Lunatic. And no one expected it. This is not a tender mother. There is no warmth here. Instead, we see a barefoot, disheveled woman seated beside a well, clutching a wooden log as if it were her child. The softness of Merle's earlier work is gone. This painting feels like a rupture, a complete break from everything he had created before. Today, the work hangs in the Chrysler Museum of Art in Virginia. For years, it passed quietly through private collections, largely ignored. But recently, more and more scholars have begun to agree on something important. The Lunatic of Étretat is not an outlier. It may be Merle's most emotionally raw, and possibly most powerful, painting. Which raises an obvious question. Did this woman actually exist? Merle didn't place her in an imaginary landscape. He situated her in Étretat, a real coastal town in northern France. A place known for its white cliffs, its gray skies, and its long history of inspiring artists, including Monet. So why place a seemingly unstable woman there? We don't know. But what is clear is that every part of this painting is constructed to unsettle us. She sits on the edge of a well, barefoot. Her clothing is torn. Her hair hangs loose and unkempt, as if untouched for days. And then there is what she holds. A wooden log, carefully wrapped in cloth. Even given a small cap, like something meant for a newborn. She presses it close. Protects it. Holds it as though it could break at any moment. And then there are her eyes. Look closely. She isn't screaming. She isn't weeping. She stares straight ahead, fixed, unflinching, as if we are the intruders. As if she knows she's being watched. And has nothing left to defend. That stare is the most disturbing element in the entire painting. The whites of her eyes are visible beneath the iris. In Japanese culture, this expression is known as sanpaku, a condition where the white of the eye shows above or below the pupil. It is traditionally associated with inner imbalance, danger, or misfortune. Merle uses this detail intentionally. Her body is tense. Her knuckles are clenched. Veins stand out beneath her skin. Her feet are dirty, her muscles strained. She looks as though she might rise at any moment, caught between fear and fury, as if both are living inside her at once. For decades, this painting was interpreted simply as the portrait of a madwoman, a grieving mother, or a woman whose longing for motherhood shattered her mind. But that reading may say more about the era than about the painting itself. To accept this image as nothing more than female hysteria is to repeat a familiar 19th century assumption, that when a woman feels too deeply, she must be ill. That suffering, in women, is a form of madness. And perhaps that interpretation is too easy. Perhaps this scene, disguised as a private tragedy, is pointing towards something far larger. something that has nothing to do with one woman alone. To understand that possibility, we need to return to France in 1871. The country had just suffered a devastating defeat in the Franco-Prussian War. France lost territory, including Alsace and Lorraine, but more than that, it lost confidence, pride, stability. Almost immediately afterward came the Paris Commune, an internal uprising that ended in bloodshed and bitter division among the French themselves. The nation was exhausted, disillusioned, uncertain of what it had become. And in that moment, Merle paints a solitary woman, disoriented, abandoned, clinging to something that is no longer alive. The Chrysler Museum poses an intriguing question in its description of the work. Could this image reflect the collective emotional state of France after political defeat and national despair? Some art historians believe so. In this reading, the woman is not an individual at all. She is France itself, broken, grieving, holding on to a past that can't be restored. Merle never left an explanation. He never clarified who this woman was or what he intended her to represent. And so the interpretations remain open. Perhaps she was someone he saw in Étretat. Perhaps she was symbolic. Perhaps she was his way of capturing a country in the midst of painful transformation. The truth is, we don't know. And that uncertainty is exactly where this painting lives. Now the question belongs to you. What do you see when you look at her?